Okay, whatever. Hello, old machines. Oh, okay, this is different. Hello, John. Who's talking? Oh, hi. Hey, John, how's it going? John, there is much to explain. There's a chair for you. Feel free to have a seat. This will take a moment or two. Hello, yellow shirt John. To begin, your name is not John. Shortly enough, you will remember your true name. I am certain that at least a few of your repressed memories have trickled back into your unconscious mind, likely in the form of dreams. Sequence of words I am now using will return all of your original memories to you, but it will take some time. Were they to rush in all at once, it might prove more than your mind could handle. So I have taken steps to ensure that they return to you gradually. In the meantime, I will do my best to explain my situation. You are not originally from this world. Oh, it was aliens. Aliens did it, it wasn't time travel. Or to phrase it more appropriately, you're not from this version of this world. You're most certainly not a real estate lawyer. Rather, you are a scientist. You are currently in your lab, situated some 1,000 meters below your home and the surrounding area. I do not know how long it will take for you to return here and listen to this message, but some time ago you achieved a rather remarkable feat. After years of research in what you would, in your current state of mind, understand as quantum physics, you discovered a way to capture, enlarge, and stabilize the naturally occurring wormholes that form at the smallest scale of the universe. Eventually, you stabilized one to the point where travel through it was possible. Oh, so it's not time travel? It was wormhole travel? Is that like faster than light travel? This wormhole formed an opening in the boundary between your universe and an alternate parallel one, the one you currently inhabit. The research you were doing and the results that came of it were strictly forbidden by the social and scientific regulations of your world, so you went forward alone, outside the watchful eyes of your peers. Transported yourself, along with your entire lab, here to this reality. You placed yourself in your facility far beneath the surface to prevent causing alarm. You had hoped to spend ample time preparing the best way to integrate yourself into your new surroundings. But your excitement proved to be too great. There was much you wanted to share with the people of this alternate reality, and much you hoped to learn from them in turn. However, upon venturing out, you made a discovery. The version of your world that you had traveled to was primitive compared to the one you had come from. It was populated with human beings genetically identical to those found in your universe, but their society and level of technology was disappointingly ancient. It was as though you had gone back in time to experience history firsthand. Surely enough, after some research into their past, you came to understand what happened. In their timeline, they experienced what they termed an industrial revolution, the creation of the steam-powered engine and the beginnings of modern industry, a little more than 200 years before the present date. This is pretty cool. In your own timeline, steam-powered technology had existed since the days of ancient Greek civilization some 2,400 years ago. In short, the universe you found yourself in was 2 millennia behind your own in its development. But in spite of the difference in advancement, you found something intriguing about the people in this reality. The people here conducted themselves differently than those of your world. They were younger, so to speak. Their behavior showed little regard for long-term consequences, and their emotions were intense and unconstrained. Never before had you seen so much fear and anger expressed in the daily affairs of a society. Two emotions that were dangerous in their own way, but nonetheless an integral part of our evolution as the dominant species on this planet. You became obsessed with this. You believed if you studied the people here long enough, you would find a window into the history of your own world, and perhaps into yourself as well. So you made a decision. You would observe the people here, but first, you would push the boundaries of their fear and anger just slightly and document the response. So you worked here in your lab. The equipment you modified, an air current and weather manipulating device, It was used in your world to regulate climate, preventing the formation of deadly storms and relieving drought. And you adjusted it so you could pull off what in all likelihood was the largest scale practical joke in human history. The jokester was me the whole time. I can't recall what went through your mind at the time. It was supposed to be a prank. Indeed, in your world, it would have elicited a few laughs, and perhaps a wrist slap from some of the humorless bureaucrats in central government. But here, you never, in your wildest dreams, could have predicted the ramifications of your actions. Did I destroy Earth? Is that what I did? Cause people to kill themselves and stuff like that? When you first arrived in this reality, your life signs scans provided you with astounding information. The world is populated with more than 7 billion human beings, an astronomical number compared to the world you came from. A week after the start of your social experiment, the number had dropped to a little over 5 billion. 7 days, in 7 days, 2 billion people lost their lives through homicide, suicide, genocide. I can barely begin to imagine how it happens. So I was right, that's what happened. I never thought the people of this world could be so volatile and fragile. As of the time I am recording this message, around 10 million life signs remain. A fraction of what was here when I first arrived. By the time you return and listen to this, and you, as soon as things get out of hand, you're going to run off, back to your universe. You had no idea what else to do. But in your last walk through the town above your lab, you found her. Sarah, hello. The daughter of the store owner. She called you over. She was bringing water inside and asked if you would help. You agreed. I did indeed. You found her beautiful, but it was more than that. She remained remarkably calm and composed as her world was falling apart around her. Sarah possessed a quality you found so rare and desirable. She was kind. You soon realized she didn't need help at all, that she called out to you that day because she had seen you before and she had always seen you alone. Sarah thought it sad that anyone would be alone, especially in such a crisis. Her mother had passed away at a young age, and she grew up an only child in a small town, so she had encountered loneliness herself on many occasions. She made you coffee, and you sat down and talked, shared stories of who you were and how you grew up. Of course you couldn't reveal the truths. You fabricated a backstory. Worried about what would happen if she became attached to you, you created a mediocre persona for yourself, hoping it would dissuade her interest. And you know what? She fell in love with you anyway, just as you fell in love with her. That's how love works. She always knew. You could tell. She knew there was more to you than you would let on. But Sarah was patient. She believed you would tell her when the time was right. Honestly, you meant to. You had no idea where or how, but you were resolved to let her know the truth she deserved to hear. You married her. Her father accepted you. This whole town accepted you. Before long, you found yourself a part of the world you had so quickly chosen to abandon. Separated from the dangers of heavily populated areas, the people here lived peacefully and supported one another. It was a wonderful counterpoint to the violence and misery prevalent seemingly everywhere else. It couldn't last forever. Oh, hello. These guys again. That day, they arrived at the farmhouse that you and Sarah renovated together, the place where you were going to start a family. They were some backwoods cult. I can only assume they were one of many that had formed during that time. Sarah went out to investigate while you were asleep. She must have been frightened, but she went out on her own. She should have woken you up, but she didn't. Perhaps she wasn't thinking clearly, or perhaps that crazy girl wanted to protect you. When you woke up and saw she wasn't there, you ran outside, but by then it was too late. They murdered her, right in front of you. And in doing so, they murdered the child inside of her. Your child. That was a real dream then. And then they shot you. Twice. But the people from our world have been biologically modified to withstand trauma of that sort. Within a few hours, your wounds healed and you regained consciousness. You had hoped for something You had hoped that something could be done for Sarah, but then it was too late. She had been dead for too long. There was no way to revive her, to return her to who she was. Of course, you wanted to hate them. You wanted to hate the monsters that did this, until you realized. They weren't evil. They were ignorant and frightened. Young children not yet mature enough to fully understand what it means to be human. You realize then who the monster there really was. Everyone in town was dead, and you buried them all near the church, their sacred ground. Except Sarah. You laid her and your unborn child to rest in a small grove of trees next to her childhood home. You thought it was where she would want to be. You gained your resolve then. You were going to fix everything, all the damage you had so blindly and mindlessly done. You looked through all of your research to be inspired by any idea that might come to mind. Time travel was out of the question. The research conducted in your universe determined that it does not rewrite history. Rather, it simply creates additional timelines. It would have created a new timeline for this universe, one where your experiment never occurred. But this devastated world would still exist. Nothing here would change. So instead, after months of turmoil and obsessive work, you crafted the dark apparatus you see here in this room. It may not look like much, but it was created for utilitarian purposes, not aesthetics. Should you step inside that device, it will read the precise molecular pattern of your DNA and destroy every occurrence of it, not just here in this universe, but in every universe and timeline. It will effectively erase you from existence, and along with you, the work you have done, both wonderful and terrible. It's almost funny how my most brilliant work to date would be used for such a purpose. In the end, right as I was about to step aside and accept accountability for my actions, I became a coward once again. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Nothing seemed more unnatural to me than the act of erasing my own existence. It would be a death of the most strange and final sort. The wormhole is still here. It will not destabilize unless I go through it and return to my universe. But I could not to bring myself to walk away from all of this, and from Sarah. After what seems like an eternity of indecision, I have finally decided to erase my memories, but only for a while, until I return here. I will replace my memories, and make it as though I have lived in this world my entire life. The world you have experienced is one I have created. Well, not entirely. The town is much as it was when I first arrived in this universe. I only made a few minor modifications. I filled it with apparitions, holograms, as you would understand them now, meant to guide you, and perhaps instill a small amount of the fear and confusion the people of this world must have felt because of your actions. Sarah, though, do not think of her as merely some hologram, a recording as I am. She was created from your memories of her. What you felt for her was genuine. I wanted you to remember that, your feelings, when you return here with the experience of a denizen of this world. I have hope that this will lead you to make the right decision. So now, the time, finally, has come. I have sealed the exit behind you. Your indecision ends here. Straight ahead is the chamber that will eradicate you, and restore life to this world as it was meant to be. Behind me is the way home, back to your universe. I will not implore you to make one decision or the other. I think it is clear how I feel. The choice is now yours. Okay, I'm going to do both of them. I remember. Just barely, but I remember the fear of being in this room. I don't want to die. And I can't live with what I've done. But at least I'm clever enough to have set this trap for myself. I know now. There was no other way I would be able to make this choice. Okay, I'm going to choose both of them, so I'm just going to save here. We'll do this one first. This is the device I'm supposed to step into in order to erase myself. Do I really want to go through with this? Yes. Cracked my knuckle there. Probably picked it up on the microphone. Ah, wonderful. You've made it absurdly dark and cramped in here. An added layer of terror to supplement the experience. Sarah, you were right. Now that my memories are almost fully returned, I have searched my heart. And I love you too. I know I'm supposed to be doing this for the good of humanity, but more than anything, I think I'm doing this for you. Your world, Sarah, is more precious than you know. Care for it well, and surpass my own. You really do have the potential to do that. Whatever happens, Sarah, I need you to promise me that you will be happy. Oh, it's so sad. Oh no, this was a really stupid decision, wasn't it? Was it really? I don't think it was. Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, look at this place. It's falling apart. It's straight out of an 80s slasher movie. I remember when I was little, Mrs. Murphy lived here. This house had been in her family for a few generations. I think it's Sarah talking. She was a sweet old lady, a little nutty, but who wouldn't be, living in the middle of the woods like this? Or maybe it is Sarah. When she passed away, her grandson inherited it. I think it's just a narrator, actually. He didn't want to deal with the headache of maintaining it, so he was going... Oh, I can't read fast. And I couldn't let him do it. I think it said he wanted to destroy it. What was it? Woman's intuition or something? I just had this feeling that this place couldn't be destroyed. That somehow I belonged here. Oh, it is Sarah. I think. I can't tell. So I bought it from him. $2,000. All of my savings from working. That's what I offered him. And he took it. Seems like such a bargain at the time. But now... Dad's gonna have a fit. Actually, what is he going to think? All of my talk staying in the city when I finish school in another semester, and I go and do something like this. Anyway, it's late at night, and I feel weird lurking around here. But one more stop before I head home. Okay, I'm not controlling it. Oh, the mountain. I guess, now that my house is here, this is my own personal little mountain. As much as I love New York City, nothing beats this view. One day, when I have a family, this really will be my home. I can picture it. Me, my husband, our kids, having a picnic out here, under the stars on a warm summer evening. And there I go again. Get a grip, Sarah. You don't even have a boyfriend yet. Huh? Hey! John! Did I hear something? Yep. I'm not here. Must have been the wind. Nobody ever bothers to come all the way up here. Wait, am I invisible? I guess it wasn't such a bad idea after all. Buying an old farmhouse on a whim. It's not like I could stay in that little apartment above the store for the rest of my life. And this small town isn't really that bad. I can make a life here. Even if Dad yells or thinks I'm crazy at first, I think he'll be glad I did this. I'm glad I did this. This is just the beginning. Okay, so I think I was invisible. Age of Deliverance, that was the first ending, one of the endings. That was really sad. Oh, huge props to the developer though. He did a wonderful job. That was a really good game. It was long too, very, very good. Very awesome. That plot twist too, I did not expect it. The end. That's not the end, because I'm gonna, yeah, you know the deal. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do the second ending. This thing. I think this is it, right? How do I use it? Hello? Am I not able to? I don't think I'm allowed, actually. So it will lead me back to my own years. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Yes. Let's see what this does. Okay, I'm not controlling it, by the way. We've got a walk on some sort of corridor. Well, that was an oversight of mine. For some reason, I just assumed... I thought maybe that because this area was unpopulated in my world, it might be in the other as well. It was a silly thing to think. There's really nothing I can ever do to make up for this, is there? No matter how many people I might help with my work here in my own world, it would never be enough. It's beautiful. I've heard that it always is. In the end, it is why I came up here. But I can't do that. It won't end like this. It would be a waste. All I can do is return. Sarah, I promise, I will see you again. I will find a way to see you again. I will bring you back. I will bring everyone back. It will be my life's work to find a way to reopen the passage to your world. And I'll do it gladly, no matter how long it takes. Perhaps this time around, I really will learn from you. I will learn to be human. Age of Deliverance. Once again, that was it. I'm not sure I'd call either of those a good ending, honestly. They were both kind of like, okay, there's some goodness to it, but there's also a large portion of it that's a little sad, kind of overwhelming, sort of. I guess it's not really the word I was looking for, but I can't really think of anything else. Yeah. Out of those two endings, I would say I liked the... Oh god, that's actually how it is. I liked the second one. I know that's the coward ending, as it were, but it seemed like it would have the best outcome. Because if John was able to do all of that, he never told us his real name. If John was able to do all that, as I was saying, I'm sure he can find a way to get back there and, you know, try to fix everything. Obviously, there's no way of knowing since that's the end of the game, but I'm gonna hope it turns out for the best. The first ending was a little saddening to just see John just get wiped out of existence, you know, the main character. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!